Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is July 5th, 2023, and Barcelona have officially announced the signing of the defender Iñigo Martínez. Also, I have all the details for you about what exactly happened with the signing of Arda Guler. And finally, it looks like Oriol Romeu, or the operation to sign Oriol Romeu, is currently on hold. We have a lot to discuss, so let's dive right in. Welcome, everybody, to Barca News' live stream scheduled every Monday and Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Mo, and as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I'm officially back from vacation, so no more crappy live streams using my cell phone. This is a real live stream coming to you from my YouTube studio, quote unquote. Now, as always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you are looking for any Barcelona gear, head to Kitback, where you can find the biggest selection of all gear, not just of Barcelona, of any football club around the world. Now, let's start with the news. As always, I'll do a segment of news, then I'll head to the comment section. We'll get a discussion going. And for those of you who don't like these long live streams, I will have chapters included in the timeline once the live stream ends. And of course, I will have timestamps in the description so you can move along through the video if you want to skip the discussion that I like to have with all of you amazing people who are currently watching. Now, let's start with the news. We'll do two brief newses regarding Barcelona. We'll head to the comment section, then we'll move on to Arda Guler. And the first bit of news is that a voting has taken place amongst the club members, and 80% of them have approved of how Joan Laporta has been handling the club. Now, of course, it's no secret. I always say I'm a big fan of Joan Laporta. I think he did an amazing job the first time he was president back in the 2000s, rescuing the club from the crisis that was in, and building the best team in the history of the club that ended up winning the sextuple under Pep Guardiola. And I think that now Joan Laporta is also doing an exceptional job under even more difficult circumstances, as the club were on the brink of bankruptcy with an Asian squad, a club that hadn't won anything when Joan Laporta took over. And now, even though we're not out of the deep waters yet, the club is doing much, much better. We have a brand new sporting project under the management of Xavi, who's completely rebuilding the team. The club, even though they still have that huge depth thanks to Bartomeu and Rosé, the club are getting out of the financial hole that they're in. The Spotify Camp Nou is being renovated. All 6 professional teams of Barcelona won their respective leagues this season. The men's football, the women's football, the hockey, the basketball, the indoor football, and also I'm skipping one, but you get the point. All 6 professional teams have won their respective leagues, which shows that the club are on the right path. And it seems that the club members agree, as 80% of them have approved of Joan Laporta's handling of Barcelona. The second bit of news is that Barcelona have officially announced what I've been saying for many, many months, and that's that Inigo Martinez is now officially a Barcelona player. You know, I mentioned in yesterday's video that Gigantes, which is the Twitch streaming channel of Gerard Romero, had caught Inigo Martinez at the Ciutat Esportiva, or at the sporting complex, being photographed by the club's photographers. So Gerard Romero said that it looks like Inigo Martinez was going to be announced officially today. And that's exactly what happened. Barcelona officially announced the signing of Inigo Martinez. Of course, he just ended his contract with Athletic Club de Bilbao. So he will be coming to Barcelona as a free agent, just like Ilkay Gundogan. Barcelona had actually tried to sign Inigo Martinez last summer, but Athletic Club de Bilbao did not want to negotiate. They wanted the 60 million euro release clause. So Barcelona said, sorry, but we're not paying that. And they reached an agreement with Inigo Martinez to wait until this summer, which is a year later. And so he can arrive for free. And it looks like Inigo Martinez kept his word to the club, arriving as a free agent, waiting as long as possible for Barcelona so they can clear space on the wage bill to register him. And that's exactly what's going to happen, both him and Gundogan, thanks to the bond that Joan Laporta put out of his own pocket, along with other members of the board of directors. Both Inigo Martinez and Ilkay Gundogan will be able to be registered immediately. And that's why the club have announced this signing. Now, Inigo Martinez, I think he'll be a great addition to the team. He's a left-footed center back, something that doesn't exist on the squad, for the exception, of course, of Marcos Alonso, who's more of a left back. But nonetheless, a left-footed center back that Xabi has been requested for quite some time. Inigo Martinez is someone who has a lot of experience. He's played, in La Liga for years. He's played with the national Spanish team. He's very strong in the air. He's a very great ball carrier. Very, very solid defender. Going to be a great addition to our solid defense already. In fact, Inigo Martinez, and I know a lot of people might not know this, but he's been the top 5 defenders in La Liga for the past several years. So by no means this is, some nobody that we signed. We've signed a great, great signing. And the fact that he's coming as a free agent, accepting a very low salary, I think it's a big, big win for Barcelona. Might not be as exciting as Vitor Roque or Ilkay Gundogan, but don't get it. Don't be mistaken. This is a great signing for Barcelona and a great addition for the team. Now, with these 2 bits of news, let's head to the comment section. We'll get a discussion going. And then I'm going to tell you all the juicy details of what happened with Arda Guler. You're not going to believe it. It's incredible what I have found out. So let's start, guys. A lot of people in the comment section. Brad, who was waiting before the stream even started. What's up, Brad? Jeebs says, hi, Mo, welcome back. Thank you, Jeebs. Let's see. Arnold says, hi, Mo. What's up, Arnold? Let's see. What else? Super says, is it true that Deco is the South America trying to sign Fabricio Diaz? I'll talk about Deco in a little bit. And I'll also briefly mention Fabricio Diaz. Okay, Kimchi says, why are we not going for Cancelo? Pretty easy. We can't afford his salary. The only way Cancelo can come is if he can lower his salary by a lot. It's the only way we can afford him. Okay, let's see. Brad says, Iñigo Martinez is cool with coming off the bench. Yes, he is. He knows the competition is strong, but nonetheless, he's not shying away from it. He's ready to come and help out the team any way he can. Again, great signing. Ekeldo says, who will be back in Balde this season? It's Alonso. Alonso was initially signed to back up Alejandro Balde, but Jordi Alba did not leave, so Jordi Alba ended up being the backup with Alonso moving over to the center back position. But now that Jordi Alba's gone, Marcos Alonso will be going back to be Alejandro Balde's backup, which I think it's a fine backup. I know a lot of people hate him, but what can we do? That's Barcelona fans for you. They like to hate on their own players, and with fans like that, who needs Real Madrid to be our enemy? We got plenty of enemies from within. All right, let's talk about Arda Guler because this story is crazy. So just a quick recap. Deco flew to Turkey, met with Guler, with Fenerbahce, made an offer, and he got an agreement from both parties. Fenerbahce agreed to it. Guler agreed to it. And the agreement was that Arda Guler was going to sign for Barcelona, but stay at Fenerbahce for 1 more year. Barcelona was going to pay the 17.5 million euro release clause, and it was going to be kind of like a payment plan. And when Deco came back, he was assured by Fenerbahce, by Arda Guler, his entourage, that this signing was going to happen. So Barcelona were pretty optimistic. They were calm. They had an agreement in principle. They thought everything was good, that Arda Guler was going to be coming to Barcelona. And then radio silence. Barcelona stopped hearing from the player and his entourage. Now, the club reached out and said, what's going on? Why is there silence? Why is there no official agreement? And that's when Arda Guler's entourage replied to the club that, hey, we want to hear other offers. Real Madrid had sent Roberto Carlos and their emissaries. Apparently, Milan had sent emissaries to Turkey. All these other clubs had sent emissaries to Turkey. And what Arda Guler and his entourage told Barcelona is that they were going to meet with these other clubs, but only out of respect because, these appointments had already been scheduled from before. So they didn't want to cancel. They wanted to honor their commitments. They wanted to hear what these clubs wanted to say, but that the agreement with Barcelona was still in effect. So Barcelona said, all right, great. Have fun in your meetings. We'll see you in Barcelona in a few weeks. Then more radio silence. So Barcelona reached out to Arda Guler again. Hey, what's going on? And this is when apparently the player and his entourage said, well, now that we heard offers, we want to reconsider The player wants more time to think about which club he wants to join. So this is when Barcelona started to think, okay, something's going on, something's not right. But nonetheless, Barcelona's offer was on the table. If the player wanted to accept it, he could have accepted it. And there were plenty of reporters in Turkey saying that, yes, Arda Guler was going to decide for Barcelona. So the club were still optimistic, and they're still thinking that Arda Guler was going to join Barcelona. Then the news broke. It was late. What's today? Wednesday. It was Monday. The news broke that Arda Guler was going to be signing for Real Madrid because Real Madrid had made a last-minute desperate offer to try to take the player away. And this is when Barcelona started asking questions like, what's going on? We had an agreement in place. Why is this guy all of a sudden want to go to Real Madrid? And lo and behold, what does Barcelona find out? That Arda Guler had not one, not two, not three, but 4 agreements in place with 4 different clubs. So not only had Arda Guler agreed to join Barcelona, he had also agreed to join Sevilla, he had agreed to join Leipzig, and he had agreed to join Dortmund. Now, how exactly did this happen? How can a player agree to 4 different clubs? Well, Arda Guler had fired his representatives days before. Now, Barcelona met with them. So what happened is that Barcelona was under the impression that the new representative of Arda Guler was now his father. So Barcelona had met with Arda Guler's father and negotiated with the father. But it turns out that that was not the only representatives. It seemed that what Fenerbahce and Arda Guler had agreed to, because this was an agreement to try to maximize how much money the player can get and how much money Fenerbahce can get out of this deal. So in this agreement to try to squeeze every little bit of money out of all the clubs involved, Fenerbahce assigned different family members to negotiate with different clubs. So the father negotiated with Barcelona. Let's say, I don't know, the uncle negotiated with Sevilla. The grandmother negotiated with Leipzig. You get the point. Different members of the family negotiated with different clubs. And they all gave their word that Arda Guler was going to be joining their respective clubs until Real Madrid came and put 30 million euros. Remember, the release clause was 17.5. Real Madrid offered 30, almost double. They also allowed Fenerbahce at 20% of any future sales. And they also offered the player immediate incorporation into their team. Because as you might recall, Barcelona's offer was for Arda Guler to join next year. And it seemed that Arda Guler was very desperate to leave Turkey. So this is another thing that really persuaded the player. So what am I getting out of this? Is that this guy had never the intention of leaving Barcelona. This guy's only intention was to squeeze as much money out of whatever club was dumb enough to pay him. This was nothing but a calculated auction, if you may. And honestly, it's pretty disgusting. Now, I wanted Arda Guler to join Barcelona because I think he's a generational talent, lots of promise. But after finding this out, I'm honestly really glad that Real Madrid took him, because these are not the kind of players that we want on our team. This is the equivalent of a mercenary in football, a guy who has no loyalties, no desires to join any club or team, just someone who goes wherever the money or the highest bidder is. And that's not the kind of guy you want on your team. So even though it was said yesterday that Arda Guler is not going to be joining Barcelona, honestly, after finding all of this out, I'm very glad that he's not. Because this is not okay what he did, not just for Barcelona, but for all the teams involved, for Sevilla, for Leipzig, for Dortmund. I think it's pretty disgusting. But you reap what you sow. So, I guess, bye, Felicia. All right, so let's head to the comment section. Let's see what you guys think about this whole Arda Guler circus. And then we'll talk about Vitor Roque, someone who you do want on your team. Okay, let's see. Where did we leave off? I forgot. Valerian says, are you going to watch any preseason friendly match live? I will be watching the matches. I don't know if live. I really wanted to go to the Arsenal game in Los Angeles, We'll see how much the tickets are. The thing is, for those of you who don't live in the U.S., the U.S. when it comes to sporting events are extremely, extremely, extremely greedy. It's almost disgusting how greedy they are, because whatever sporting event, whether it's basketball, football, whatever sport it is, you have to donate your kidney, maybe sell your kids just so you can attend one match. Tickets are always like $400, $500, $600. And that's just for a regular match. That's not even talking about playoffs or Super Bowl, whatever. Then you're talking about thousands of dollars. So I'll have to see how much the tickets are, but I'm trying to watch the Barcelona Arsenal in LA because it's going to be the only cool place. The other matches are in Texas and Vegas. I'm from Vegas, but I'm not trying to sit in 120-degree weather to watch a match. Okay. El says that kid Guler will regret it big time for mocking Barca. I mean, we've seen what happens to players when they go to Madrid just because of the big money. Like Bale, like, I don't know, Ozil, like all these guys, they end up burning out because Madrid at this point, they're just trying to buy whoever's the best just so they can prevent them from going somewhere else. And they're not going to end up using most of them anyway. They're going to end up benching them. Hooper says, Mo, no Barca jersey today. No Barca jersey today. I just got off work and this is what I was wearing to work. So I figured might as well. All right, Kino says, that's okay if he chooses Real Madrid. He would have been a good player to develop in our squad. But we get a striker for many years. He would have been a key piece if he comes to Barcelona. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, we still have Pedri, we still have Gabi, we still have Frankie, we still have Gundogan. I mean, maybe not Gundogan because he is 32 years old, but with Frankie, Pedri, Gabi, even Pablo Torre can get his crap together and actually get disciplined and focus on his career. I mean, we still have plenty of young midfielders to develop. And we're not even talking about Marc Casado and Barca Athletic. I mean, we have plenty of options. The fact that Arda Guler went somewhere else is not the end of the world. Like a lot of the Madrid media are trying to make it out to be like, oh, Real Madrid is going to win, sextuple now. They have Arda Guler and Barcelona are going to be, done. That's not the case. Anyways, let's talk about Vitor Roque, someone who you do want on your team, because I reported recently that Barcelona have finalized the agreement with Atletico Paranaense. They had already finalized with Vitor Roque. So all the agreements have been finalized. It's done deal. Vitor Roque is coming to Barcelona. For now, it seems like he's coming in the winter because it doesn't seem like Barcelona are going to be able to clear enough space on the wage bill to sign him this summer, because a lot of the players don't want to leave, which we will talk about that in a little bit, so stay tuned. But nonetheless, Vitor Roque will be coming to Barcelona. If Barcelona can offload players and can bring Vitor Roque this summer, of course they will. Xavi wants him right now. Xavi wants him yesterday, pretty much. But for now, it looks like he's going to be joining in the winter. Now, what's the news? This is not like big news, but it's something I wanted to mention just to contrast with what happened with Arda Guler. And that's that Vitor Roque had apparently turned down multi-million-dollar offers from some of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. We're talking about Chelsea, we're talking about Arsenal, we're talking about Manchester United, where not only did they offer Atletico Paranaense a lot more money than what Barcelona has agreed to, not only did they offer Vitor Roque a much more lucrative salary than what he will be receiving at Barcelona. He's only going to be receiving $3 million. But they even offered him some multi-million-dollar signing bonuses. I mean, these clubs really wanted to steal him away. They knew that he wanted Barcelona, so they were just throwing money at him. And what did Vitor Roque say? He said, absolutely not. Yes, I want to leave Atletico Paranaense, but the only place I'm leaving to is FC Barcelona. No matter how much money you throw at me, that's the only club I want. Apparently, he's been a fan since he was a kid. It's his dream. And that's exactly what he will be doing. He will be fulfilling his dream as he will be coming to Barcelona. Now, these are the kind of players you want on your squad, players who want to come to Barcelona to succeed because it's their dream to play at the club, because they want to wear those colors, because they want that crest on their chest, because that's really what makes the difference between a champion and just a winner. Because at the end of the day, you might say, well, they're all professionals. They get paid, so it doesn't matter whichever club they go to, they're still going to perform. Yes, at some level they will perform, but in those dying minutes, in that extra halftime of the championship final, when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you're dehydrated, when your body aches, when your muscles are cramping, what's really going to push you to give that extra little bit of you is going to be that loyalty, that feeling that you wearing those colors, that you're carrying that crest on your chest. And that's really what's going to motivate you to go above and beyond versus someone who's just here for the paycheck. Now, really cool fact that I found out today is that when Vitor Roque was actually undergoing these tests, kind of like his performance, he was wearing, I don't know if you've seen players, they wear kind of like this, what looks like a sports bra, but it's actually a GPS device that tracks everything, their speed, their runs, their heat map, etc. When he wore it, because he was undergoing some testing, they thought it was broken because they couldn't believe how many sprints had the GPS registered. So they had to examine his GPS vest. It turns out it wasn't broken. This guy's just an absolute freaking beast. And that's exactly what we need in Barcelona. Young talent that's promising, that freaking beast who really wants to come to the club. Not because of the money, but it's because his dream to play. Now, let's head back to the comment section and we'll talk about Oriol Romeu, because it seems like his signing is on hold. And I'll tell you exactly why that's the case. Okay, where did we leave off? Roy David says, welcome to the Middle East. Huh? I'm confused. Charles says, Vitor Roque is the kind of player we need, not same kid that only after money. Exactly. By the way, his name is Vitor, not Victor. So it's Vitor. I know I'll see a lot of people spell it Victor, but it's not Victor. It's Vitor. Dark Knight says, hey, Mo, I know a little late. Screw Arda Guler. He's all about the money. He can go to Real Madrid. We will still whoop their behind. Do you think it's a big loss for Barca? No, it's not. Again, like I said a few minutes ago, we still have Pedri, we still have Gavi, we still have Frankie, we have Pablo Torre if he can get his crap together. We have Marc Casado and Barca Athletic. We have plenty of options. Would have been nice to have Arda Guler? Absolutely. Is it a big loss? No. Okay, Brad says Guler was a luxury. Roque was a must. 100% agree. Okay, so let's talk about more players, starting with Oriol Romeu. He's the guy that Xavi wants for that pivot position. I told you about how Girona are all of a sudden butthurt. They think that Barcelona have betrayed them because in a meeting in a dinner that Joan Laporta had with the representatives of Girona, he promised that Barcelona would do everything in their power to help out Girona, since Girona is also a Catalan club. It's a small Catalan club. And now they feel like Barcelona have betrayed them by trying to take away pretty much one of their most, if not their most important player, which is Oriol Romeu. So as a result of Girona feeling betrayed and butthurt, they don't want to negotiate with Barcelona. And the only way for Barcelona to take Oriol Romeu is to pay his release clause, which is worth 8 million euros, which is, of course, is still pretty affordable for Barcelona. Now, Oriol Romeu wants to come to the club. Xavi wants him at the club. In fact, Xavi had tried to sign him back when Xavi was the head coach of Al Saad in Qatar. So both parties want to make this happen. The only problem is that Barcelona have now decided to put this operation on hold. And the reason why is a 4-letter name, and that's Deco. Now, Deco thinks that he can bring Xavi a better option, a younger option, that can not only come to the club and do the job now, but who could also have, obviously, a longer future than Oriol Romeu. Because Oriol Romeu, he's ready. He can come, and right tomorrow, he'll be the starting pivot. He has the experience. He has the know-how. He's played in the Premier League. He's played in La Liga. He came up through the Barcelona Academy. So he knows the how, but of course, it's not a long future. He's 31 years old, so he might be at Barcelona for 2-3 seasons tops. Deco thinks he can bring someone who's ready to take on the role, but who can also be at the club for many, many years. And as a result, Deco has asked Xavi, hold on, pump your brakes, let me do my job, let me bring you a better option. If I can't, by all means, sign Oriol Romeu, but give me some time. Now, Deco apparently has a lot of options that he wants to go meet with, he wants to go look at. They're talking about South America. We don't know who exactly, but there are people saying that it could be Fabricio Diaz. I personally doubt that. And the reason why is because right now, there's kind of an auction for Fabricio Diaz. All these clubs are fighting about who makes a better offer. And as you know, just like you saw from the Arda Guler situation, Barcelona is in no position to get into some bidding war with other clubs. So I don't think it's Fabricio Diaz. It could be maybe if the player says, hey, I only want to go to Barcelona and tries to force his way, then maybe. But I personally don't think so. But either way, what we do know for sure is that Deco has put the Oriol Romeu operation on hold because he thinks he can bring a better option to Xavi Hernandez that can do the job now, do the job for many, many years, and it could also convince the Spanish coast. That's, of course, a tall order. The pivot position is the most important position in the team. So if he can do that, that'd be amazing. I don't doubt Deco. You've seen what he has done. He has wrapped up Vitor Roque. We thought he had wrapped up Arda Guler, but that's not really Deco's fault. That's more the player and his entourage. He's gotten, and he's not even been officially named as a football director, and he's already doing some incredible work. So if there's anyone that can find an alternative, is Deco. But let's see what he ends up finding. After all, the club are very limited given their finances. All right, let's head back to the comment section, and then we'll talk about Kessie and Alex Collado, two players that Barcelona are trying to offload. I see 105 people watching, but only 26 likes. Come on, guys, let's hit that like button like this because that helps the channel a lot. All right. Dark Knight says, yeah. Oh, Brad says, how about if we just call him Roque? That also works. Dark Knight says, yeah, you mentioned Pablo Torre. I think he's a very great player for the future with a lot of potential. Yes, Pablo Torre, lots of potential. The only problem is his discipline. He has a lot of discipline issues. If he can focus, or maybe Barcelona can send him on loan, which that's the plan. Hopefully that season away can really get him refocused on his career. Unfortunately, Barcelona, for a lot of young players, sometimes it proves too much. It's a very fun city, great nightlife, restaurants, clubs, bars, you name it. And a lot of times these younger players, when they come to Barcelona, you know, Nico's an example, Dembele back in his days, an example, Ricky Puig, huge example. Unfortunately, they get caught up in that nightlife and they care more about partying and women and alcohol. And that's when they get lost. And that seems to be happening a little bit with Pablo Torre. Hopefully, if he spends a season away on loan, he can get refocused because he does have a lot of potential. But remember, potential is not enough. You have to put in the work. Simple as that. Well, it's not simple because it's a lot of work, but you get the point. Okay, let's see. Samudra says we need proper right back. Yes, Ivan Fresneda, that's the plan, but Barcelona need to first sign a pivot before they can figure out whether they can go after Fresneda or not. Samudra says, how about De Jong news? Is he going to City? De Jong is not going anywhere except to the hospital because his wife is pregnant and they will be having a baby pretty soon, but he's not going anywhere. All right, Brad says, I feel like we have run through every possible pivot. Now we're going to somehow find a pivot that can start at Barca that no one has heard of. I mean, look, man, if there's anybody can find a diamond in the rough, it's Deco. Let's see, what else? Aaron says, is Kimmich still an option? Kimmich is not an option. Bayern don't want to sell him, and even if they did, we can't afford him. So Kimmich, not an option at all. Errol says, sorry we didn't get Amrabat. You know, Amrabat, unfortunately, Fiorentina wanted too much money. Barcelona could not afford it. Plus, the player wasn't willing to wait. So that didn't happen. It turns out, like I reported in yesterday's video, apparently Fiorentina have confirmed that they have no official offers from Amrabat. So that's what they get for trying to ask an arm and a leg for a player that's not really worth that. You know, they wanted 60 million euros and they wanted 40 million euros. Now they want 30, and everybody's like, you guys are crazy. We're not going to pay you that because, I mean, look, is Amrabat a good player? Yes, but he's only proven himself at the World Cup. So we can't really be asking for that much. Anyways, Kino says, when will Torres leave the club? He has been with us for 18 months and he will fail. I mean, the plan is to offload him this summer. We'll see. There's talk about loan because there are Premier League clubs who are interested in loan, not transfer. So he might end up leaving on loan instead. I think that would be the best solution because I don't think anybody's going to want to buy him now given his terrible season. Even if they did, they're going to offer very little for him. So I think it's better to send him on loan. He can prove himself, increase his value, and then we can sell him. Because Ferran Torres is not a bad player. He's a really good player. He did wonders with Valencia. Was it Valencia or Villarreal? I think Valencia. Valencia. He did good at Manchester City, but I think the Barcelona jersey was just too much for him. So I think he's a good player. If he can go on loan, recover his confidence, his performance, maybe we can sell him for a lot more next summer. All right, so let's talk about two players, and then we'll wrap it up. and that's Frank Kessie and Alex Collado. Starting with Frank Kessie because his agent was seen at the Barcelona offices. Apparently, he met with Matteo Alemany today. And no, it's not good news. The reason he met was to transmit to the club that Frank Kessie doesn't want to leave Barcelona. He wants to stay at the club. Apparently, all the offers that Frank Kessie has received so far have not convinced the Ivorian midfielder. And that the only way that Frank Kessie will leave Barcelona is if he receives a huge mega offer from Saudi Arabia. So it seems like our only salvation for now is that some Saudi club comes and puts a bunch of money on the table to take Frank Kessie, because that's the only way that the Ivorian midfielder will leave Barcelona. Now, Kessie, the agent, through his agent, told Barcelona what I talked about, I think it was last week, which that he wants to leave as a free agent, because obviously when you leave it free, you get a lot more money in salary and bonuses, because the club that's buying you doesn't have to pay a transfer fee, so they have more money left over to pay your bonuses and salary. But the club made it very clear to the agent, absolutely not. You're dreaming. Yes, we need to offload players. Yes, we need to clear space on a wage bill, but we're not just going to give players away, right? Frank Kessie has at least 30 million euros market value. Barcelona is just not going to throw those 30 million euros away in the trash can just because Mr. Frank Kessie wants a higher salary or a nicer bonus so he can buy a nicer car. That's not going to happen. So for now, it looks like Frank Kessie will be staying unless some big Saudi offer arrives to save the day. I think it's sad what's happening with some of these players. I mean, if a club tells you they don't want you, what the hell are you doing? Just go. Like, why do you want to stay at a place where you're not wanted? Why do you want to stay at a place when you're not going to play? I mean, you're a footballer. By definition, you're supposed to play football, and someone's telling you you're not going to play football. So what are you doing? Anyways, the second one is Alex Collado. I don't know if you guys forgot about Alex Collado, but he's still around. He's still alive. He's still playing football. He came back from his loan with Elche. Obviously, there was no option or obligation to buy. There's talk about Las Palmas wanting to sign him because, as I mentioned in a previous video, Las Palmas' head coach right now is Garcia Pimienta, who used to be the Barca Athletic coach, who trained Alex Collado, where Alex Collado seemed to be this rising star. He was the best one on Barca Athletic, but for some reason, when he made it to the first team, he just was not able to live up to the hype. Las Palmas just got promoted to the first division thanks to Garcia Pimienta. And now Las Palmas are looking to reinforce their squad. And of course, Garcia Pimienta has asked Las Palmas to sign Alex Collado as a reinforcement, but no concrete offer has been received by Barcelona. So Barcelona are considering the option of letting him go, just like they did with Samuel Umtiti, because they need to clear space on their wage bill, and this would be a good way to clear space on a wage bill. Of course, this is not final. This is only as an option B. For now, they still want to offload and make some money off of him, but if they can't, they will release him just like they did with Umtiti. Anyways, that's all the news, guys. We still have a few more minutes. We can do more comments, get the discussion going. 115 views, but only 46 likes. Let's hit that like button. Let's make it in a triple digit because it helps this channel a lot. You know, likes actually matter a lot more than subscriptions or views or anything else. Well, maybe not views, more than subscriptions, because it prompts the YouTube algorithm to recommend the video to other people who've never been seen the channel, seen the videos, which brings more subscribers, which brings more views, and you get the point. All right, guys, let's do the comments. Let's see, where did we leave off? Samudra says we need to sell Ferran, Ansu, Kessie, Lenglet. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But let's see if they want to leave. That's the problem. I mean, Lenglet will be leaving. He wants to leave. He wants to stay at Tottenham. Tottenham want him. It's just a matter of reaching an agreement. As I said in yesterday's video, Tottenham have offered 10 million. Barcelona 115. Barcelona might end up having a cave and accept those 10. At the end of the day, 10 million is not a lot. I mean, it's a pretty good offer for Lenglet, and Lenglet is one of the highest earners on the squad. So getting rid of his salary would be huge for the club. Brad says, Torres said he doesn't have any mental confidence issues, which is a huge red flag that has some mental confidence issues. I mean, he said that he had hired a psychologist and he helped him, but I don't know what he helped him with because he still sucks on the field. All right. DPG says Pep want to ruin us by giving old players and take away young players like De Jong. What? We don't need Bernardo Silva. I don't know what you're talking about. Pep Guardiola's not trying to give us or take away anything. De Jong is staying in Barcelona. He's not going anywhere. Pep Guardiola is not trying to give us Bernardo Silva. Pep Guardiola wants to keep Bernardo Silva. It's Xavi who wanted Bernardo Silva, not the other way around. And regardless, we can't afford him. Manchester City want 80, 90 million euros, which is no way in hell we can afford that. Okay, let's see. Alabi says, hello, Mo, watching from Africa. What's up, Alabi? Thank you for joining the channel. Ross, my man, where you been, bro? He says, Mo, wanted to apologize for commenting once, saying a negative thing like you and everyone else repeating the same transfer news. Things are not certain, therefore you keep us updated. Thank you for all. Don't worry, I didn't take it as in a negative way. But thank you. Thank you for your comment. Let's see. Dark Knight says, take 10 million for Lenglet and call it a day. Yes. I mean, at this point, I will pay Tottenham Hotspur to take him. Just kidding. I'm broke. I can't pay anybody. Choo Choo, you late. What's going on? But regardless, good to have you. Let's see. Hooper says, I thought Barca could only sign 4 players this season. So it's Ilkay, it's Iñigo. Vitor Roque seems like he's going to be coming in the winter, so he won't count. And then there is the pivot. We don't know who yet. So maybe the 4th one could be the right back. All right. Chucha says, Mo, going live tomorrow. No live tomorrow because, I'm back home. I'm not on vacation anymore. So it will be back to the regular schedule, live streams on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then the rest of the week, just regular videos, which people seem to prefer the videos more than the live stream. I guess because they're shorter. They have pictures and cool stuff. But I love doing the live streams just because I get to interact with you guys. It's not the same responding to your comments versus reading your comments live and, responding to them. I feel like even though I'm not really there, I feel like I'm, we all hanging out in some big living room on a sofa, drinking beer or whatever you drink. But anyways, all right, guys, I think that's it. That's all the news. If you joined late, make sure you watch the replay because juicy details about what happened with Arda Guler. And then, of course, all the other news about Inigo, Roque, Oriol, Kessie, and Alex Collado. Thank you guys for all your support. You guys are freaking amazing. The best YouTube community by far. If there was an award for best community, you guys would win it. Thank you for the likes, for the subscribe. Thank you for the comments. You guys are amazing. You always give me great insight. And that's it. I feel like I've been talking nonstop. All right, guys. Have a good night or good morning wherever you are. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Hopefully great news. Hopefully we'll find out that we signed Mbappe, Haaland, Pelé, who's back from the dead, Maradona, everything. And that the club are the richest club and no debt. Obviously none of that is going to happen. But we can only hope. Have a good night. Visca Barça, Visca Catalunya, F Real Madrid, and Arda Guler. See you guys.